What up? What up? All right, so self-awareness in this video. Self-awareness. So let's maybe define it first. We'll look up the definition. Let's define it, and then we'll talk about why this is probably important to your marketing. Right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about self-awareness. Let's go to Google real quick. All right. So self-awareness. So it says self awareness, consciousness, knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, desires. All right. I'm going to read that again. Conscious, and I don't know if I said consciousness, I probably misstated that. It doesn't matter though. But I'll read it again. It says conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. One more time. Conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. So, like, why is this important? I think when you are marketing, it's always like one of the best ways you can kind of set yourself up to be able to, sell. Let me get rid of this. Products and services and keep this thing going, right? One of the best ways you can do that is to kind of already be aware of yourself and the feelings that people maybe have towards you. Let me say that in probably a better way. You have to know yourself. You got to know how people perceive you, right? So, like when you're aware that maybe you have a certain habit or you do a certain thing as a person, that relates the same way to your business, right? So your business, your product, your advertising, your marketing, you just have to be self-aware of what are the things that you're doing consistently, and how are those things communicating to your audience, and is it doing something that you think is doing one thing and they're thinking it's doing another. I hope that kind of makes sense, and I hope that's not too confusing. You don't want to be in a position where, like, oh, I sell, let me say, I don't know. Let's say I sell this lotion, right? And I sell this lotion, and every time I sell it, I'm getting great feedback on the smell. Or excuse me, let me say this again. Let me say I'm not getting feedback on the smell at all, right? But I think it just smells the greatest, right? So I'm not really receiving feedback, good or bad, on the smell, but I, as the business owner, think it's just the greatest. But I really haven't dug in, got any feedback, and tested that thing to determine, does this thing smell the greatest or not, right? That's being more self-aware in terms of the business. What are the things that are happening in terms of the business and in terms of the marketing? And is it doing the thing that you think it's doing? You just want to be aware. You want to be, what does it say? You want to have conscious knowledge of what is happening. And so maybe it does. Maybe it smells great, and it backs up and reaffirms what you believe to be true. Maybe it doesn't. And so I think it's just important that you are looking, always, looking at that mirror in terms of the business and in terms of the marketing. Is this thing doing what it's supposed to be doing? How do I feel about it? How does someone else feel? How does, kind of my ending person that I'm communicating to, my customer, how do they feel about it? And all those two things matching, right? And sometimes, like, again, it doesn't even have to be anything necessarily positive, but you just have to be aware of it. Like let's let's use a human example, right? Let's say that you just every time you eat, you just smacking. You know what I'm saying? You enjoying your food. You smacking. It's good. That chicken good. It's good. You smacking. That chicken delicious, right? So let's say that that's the case, and you're aware of it, right? It puts people in a good space if they're watching you and they're aware of it, but they're also aware that you're aware of it. Now, it does put you in a position where, maybe if it's overly annoying or whatever, that, you could do something about it, but at least, you know what I mean? Like, both people are aware, like you're aware that you're doing this thing, right? The worst thing that you want to have is that when other people are aware of it and you're not aware of it, you're not aware that you have this particular habit. Again, that works the same inside of your business when you're doing your marketing or whatever. You just want to try to be on that same wavelength, that they're aware and also you're aware as well of kind of what's happening, right? So I know that was probably a longer explanation than you needed, but I think it was beneficial. Hopefully it was. That's what I mean by self-awareness. Like, subscribe, comment, give me some feedback. Are you being self-aware? If you're not, I encourage you to try to be as self-aware as possible. And yeah, just do reflecting. Reflect on yourself. Reflect on what's happening. Try to get some feedback if you can. And try to be as aware of kind of how you're coming off. All right. With that said, like, subscribe, and comment. And we will see you on the next video. Take care.